Hello, welcome to this new Apphive tutorial. Today we are going to create a checkout using Stripe. So if this is the first video you're watching, well, I very recommend you to visit the playlist in the description. And also you can follow us on our YouTube channel and you can see the full series of videos where we are creating an application for delivery, an application like Uber Eats, step by step with no code. So it's very simple to create without to write a single line of code. And also it's a very complete application because we are creating starting from the customer application, but we also are going to create the driver application, the business application, the administrator, and also we accept payments with a credit card and process this payment in our application. And we use geolocation to display the user location on the maps, autocomplete for addresses, and so on. So I invite you to visit our YouTube channel and the playlist from the beginning. If well you are watching this in the future, you can check the full playlist and also the finished application at the end of this playlist. So we're going to continue. The last video we started with the checkout. We already have our product list here. We have also our card for checkout or checkout. We already asked for the address. We calculate the delivery fee based on the distance from our business to the customer address. And also we count the number of products we have here. And we already have the tip. And we have this screen where we can add a new card for in our account. You see, well, we can add here the number. Well, this is a demo card. Any number is valid, but needs to be a valid number. My name here, let's see, John. No. Okay, and we have this process ready, no? So we have the way to add cards, and these cards are saved in our Stripe account. We have here our customers. Well, we have only one customer for testing, and we have three cards. So the next is how we can add we already have the total here. Well, we can select the tip, and we have a total here, and we have and we can select a card. And now when we have the total and we have a card, we're going to create a checkout. So today we're going to select this card and create a checkout to create a charge to the customer. So at this point we can receive now money from our customers by using a credit card and save this information into the database because the order will be ready to be received by the restaurant. So in this don't miss the end. So we're going to explain how to create these checkouts, how to create a charge with no code to our customers and save the new order into the database. So let's start. Okay, so to continue here, we need to start on this page because here is where we have all the cards we have available to to select. These cards are loaded from the Stripe account. So, and also is based on the customer ID, because remember that when we open this page, we verify that the customer already exists on our Stripe account, and also we read all the credit cards for this customer. And once we get these cards, we create a list with all the available payment methods. So this is this list we have here. So the next is that we need to be able to select one of these, well, what is the card or the payment method we're going to use on this transaction. So let's start with the to select a card here and create the checkout. And later we can do the same, but with cash. With cash is more easy because we only need to say that we are going to pay in cash, and there is no need for transaction. So we need to say, well, we create the list using Add Collections to UI, and we have this list here. We are showing the icons here, well, the text, the card number, the last 4 digits, and the MasterCard or Visa logo. And then when we select this card, we want to save this card into the user, but we don't have now the card numbers, well, and it's for security reason. So what we can do to save this card, to have this card available for payments, is we need to save the token. So each card has a token. You can see here, if we go to developer logs, when we read all the cards, each card has an ID. Once this card is once this card is saved on the system, each card has an ID. So this ID is the ID we need to send to create a payment intent and then to charge the customer. So this ID is what we are going to save when I select this card. So when I press a single card on the list I have, I'm going to save in the user with a user custom data. Well, remember, this set user custom data allow us to set custom information into the customer, and this is what we need because we need to save the the card ID, and we're going to save the card from the list we're creating. The property is called ID because you see here each card has an ID, so we need to save this ID in a property. We can set any name we want, no? Well, in this case I select card ID, and after save we can go back. Okay, but we have now saved the card ID. That this is the only information we need for the transaction. But in the checkout page, we have, well, we go to our application. In the checkout page, we have also the brand logo and the last 4 digits. So, well, it's a good idea to save this information also in the customer, so we can display this information on the checkout page. Because, well, we're changing right now the default payment method for this user, but the next time this user will create a new order, we can read this information from the user, and we don't need to ask again what is the payment method. Well, that the customer wants to use. Okay, so we save the card ID, that is the information we need, but also and copy and paste, and I'm going to save the brand which is, well, this property here, which is the brand. It's called brand also. What is the brand of the card, and also the well, I copy here also the the card's name, which is this name we have available. Well, it is not displayed here, but yeah, we have the name of the car holder. No, this car holder name, and this say as name. And finally, well, we have the brand, the name, and the last four. Yeah, so it's easy to know what is the last four. What is the card I select for my payment? So last four. And once we save all this information, I'm going to return to last screen. So I'm going to go back to the checkout page. And also, it's important. So we need to show in some way what is the selected card. We can change many properties here, but for now, I'm just going to change the border color so we can have a different border in the current payment method we're using in our transaction. So we are going to change the border color, but with a complex function. So this function will depend on if the yeah, sorry, the connection was lost for a second. So we are a conditional here, and we are going to compare the card ID. The card ID we save into the user when the payment method is selected, and also we are going to compare with the ID of the current item, which is the list context. So if the card ID is the same as the ID, if they are the same, we're going to send a callback with a color. For example, it could be like if they are the same, like a red color. Okay. If they are not the same, I can send like gray color. Yeah, it's not important. So we have two colors. When is the when is selected, and the other when is not selected. So let's try this in our Well, when we open this page, takes some time to load. We can add a loader later. For example, I'm going to select the first card, and after this save, when I go again to change, I should see, yeah, you see that the border is red because this is the selected card. When I select the second one, and I go to this page and I press on change, now the second is selected. It's important as this takes some time to load. We can add a page loading here. Page loading is, well, the loader. When I open the page, I'm going to enable this loader. I can even, if I want, customize the loading, so I can have a custom animation here. But I'm going to enable here, and I need to disable on each case. For example, when there is an error, I enable this, well, enable the disable option. So only disable, and list on cards, on error, I'm going to disable, and on success, I'm going to disable. So after something happens, I'm going to disable the loading. So let's see. When I press the change, now you can see the loader here, and when it's loaded, then it's disabled. Okay. So when we are on the checkout page here, we need to modify these elements. We're going to modify these as card name. Here is the brand. Yeah, I'm just changing the name of the control, so it's easy to use modify control layers. And the last four, okay? And when the page loads, we can use conditional here and verify if the card ID, because we can use the ID, the card ID, was this property as the payment method can be cash. So if the card ID is cash, we're going to do something because we are going to display the cash option. But if false, it means that uh, is with a credit card. Well, yeah, well, it could be a credit card or not. If it's not, we need to verify if card ID exists. So we're going to use value is in value, card ID. If the card ID exists, if not exists, well, we can send the user or display something to send the user to choose a payment method. But if it's a valid value, it means that if not at this point is not cash, the full payment method, and also we have the information for the card. So we can show all the information we have here from the user data. For example, we can display the card holder name and based on the card name is this element we have here, and also the last four digits. We have the last four and display this element here. And well, we can check that it is working back. Let's go to change. select card. And yeah, you see that we have the name, just now, and the last four digits of the card. We can also do the same with the brand to change this logo. On this page, I already have a function to switch the logo depending on the brand. Yeah, according to the brand, if it's Visa or Mastercard, we display the Visa or the Mastercard logo, or we have a default logo. I'm going to copy this function, and we can use the same function here. So depending on the brand, we don't have here a process, but we can use modify control to change the brand source depending on if it's Mastercard, Visa. Well, we have the URLs here. So if it's Visa, we can use this one. I'm going to add for now, or can change later, but for now, we can use the same image for all the cases, okay? So let's see. Now we have the name and the card. We have to create the checkout. Also, if we have the total, we have the tip, and we're ready to create a checkout. So to create a checkout is when I press this button, and we need to perform different actions. We need to charge, well, first we need to create a payment intent with the amount, and then we need to confirm this payment intent. The payment intent is not a charge for the customer, it's only to order all this information I need to charge the customer. So I'm going to create a process called checkout. It is to create a checkout. I'm creating this process here. And first, well, we need, explain, first we need to create a payment intent. Checkout Stripe. I'm going to create a payment intent. I need the amount. So this is a variable I need here. Something important is that when we send the payment information to Stripe, we don't have decimals. So first, we need to have an arithmetic operation, and with the amount we have from our checkout or total, and multiply this for 100. Well, this is because is the format we need to send this information to Stripe. So we need to send this information without decimals to Stripe. And also we can run these results with another global formatter here. And the result of this global formatter of this multiplication, the amount and the 100, we're going to select number to round. Well, this is to round the results. So, for example, if we have 13.100, so we're going to multiply here, and we're going to have then 1,300, no? Well, as a result. And we're going to run this result. And we're going to send this result here as the amount. Well, the transfer account, the transfer account is used in something called Stripe Connect. So if you want to use well the application to use as a marketplace, if you add a transfer account, you can transfer the percentage you define automatically after the transaction is complete. For now, we are going to uh, keep this empty, and also the capture method is empty. The currency, well, it depends the currency you're using. In this case, I'm going to add the USA. Well, depends is the symbol for your currency. The customer ID, I already have this here as a Stripe ID, which is this is what I create when I create a customer here. In the process for create a customer, well, we say here this information here as an Stripe ID. So this is why I am reading this information here. And the payment method, which is the card ID, I say when I select a card ID. So this is enough to create a payment method. Well, to create a payment method, to create a payment intent, and after a success payment intent, I'm going to create I'm going to use the confirm payment intent. So first we need to create a payment intent, and then we can confirm the payment intent. In this step is where we get the funds and create the charge to the customer. So we need to send the payment method ID, which is from the payment intent in the ID. So after a success payment intent creation, we send the payment method payment intent ID as an entry bar here, and return URL. Well, if we want to send the user to some page, but it is not necessary. So after confirmed payment intent is a success. So we're going to call the success or error. If something failed, I'm going to call the error. Also, we are going to call the error if something failed here. And also, it's very, very important to run all this process on cloud. And so that's all what we need. We need the amount and the other information. We already have this information on the customer. So when I press the checkout button, we can enable a loader here because it can take well some minutes, 1 minute seconds, but and we're going to call the checkout Stripe and send the amount. We have the amount here as well. We don't have the amount here. We need to create a variable here which is called total. Yeah, total. And as I remember, we have this function here. When the service fee is calculated and when the tips are calculated, and we have the total here. So when the total is called, we're going to save the total as a variable here on the page. So we have this process here, which takes all the information from the page and calculates the total. And when the total is calculated, we're going to send this total here. Okay, so to save this total on the variable on the page. Okay, and Yep, it's all that we need here. Here is the process. Delivery fee, page ID, error. Okay, that's great. So, and we're going to send here the total now we have here on the page. And this show works. So let's replace the screen and go again to home after a successful checkout. Well, we can create later a page where we can redirect the user after a successful checkout. But for now, we're going to redirect the user to home. And if there is an error, I'm going to call another call error. Let's test this function. Go to checkout. We already have a payment method. We have a tip, and press the checkout button. There is an error here. Let's see what happened. If something goes bad, we can see always here on the logs. Well, yeah, we're not sending the amounts here. Yeah, it could be because this function, yeah, on this function, we change the modify control. Yeah, but we are not sending back the total. We are calculating. So let's send the total here, the result of the arithmetic operation, because we are only using the modify control to display the total on the page, but we are not sending the customer, well, the total on the callback. So it's important to send the total on the callback, because then on this page we are taking this total and saving this total variable, so we can read this total to create the checkout. So go to checkout. Oh, well, this is still not working. Let's see what happened. Yeah, it looks like is something miss. Yeah, the amount, we are not getting the amount yet. So I'm going to send an alert here with the total to be sure that we are receiving the total. Yeah, here we have the total. So when we press the checkout, I'm sending the page data total here. So it's okay. We're receiving this amount here, multiplying, and here, well, here is the arithmetic operation to run. Yeah, that was a problem. So let's try again. So we don't need this alert more. And again, go to the cart, go to checkout, add a tip, and press the checkout. Yeah, I'm redirected to the home page. It means that was successful, but I didn't turn off the loader. So it's important to turn off the loader here, disable the loader, and disable the loader in case of error. But as you can see here on the payments, we have this successful payment for our first order. So we have this order from the customer we have, and we have the amount and charge for the card we have here. So it was successful. So we have the customer, we have the payment, so all is working fine for this checkout process. Well, um, that's great. So the next step is to save all this order into the database, because when was a successful uh, request for checkout, we need to save all this information into the database. So we're going to add the save into the database and create a new collection called orders. And inside this collection, I'm going to, well, to create a dynamic ID. Well, that's okay. So we're creating a unique ID for each order. And we have the customer, we have the amount, and we have the products, we have the delivery fee, we have the service fee, we have the tip, we have the what else? Well, all the information that we need for the checkout. We have all this information here. We have the subtotal, delivery, service fee, the total. We can save also the, for example, the payment method. Um, and also what? Yeah, the address. Well, that's all. So when was a successful checkout, we are going to save all this information into the database. Well, the customer, we save our own ID. The amount, we have the total on the page. The products, well, we need to save the products here. We can save this information here, products. And we can send this information from this page. When we press the checkout, we are sending the products quantity, but we can send all the products we have on the local database. So when we read the information from the local database with all the products, we can also save this information here in the products and from the information we're reading from the local database and save into a variable here on the page. And when we press the checkout, we can send all this information from this page to the other page with all the products. And now in this page, we have available the products in a variable. So we can save the products here from the page data products we just created. The delivery fee, we have the delivery fee available here as delivery. The service fee, we have also the variable for service fee. The tip, we also have a variable for tip. The payment method is the card ID we use. And the address, which is also in the user, as the address of the user. We can see also these parameters here on the dashboard, on the members. If you see, for example, this user, we can see the custom data. Well, this is not the user. Yeah, you see, we have all this information here. So we can read the address and we read this field. This all is all the information we save to the user, and also latitude and longitude. The latitude and longitude are very important because this information we're going to use to deliver. So also add the latitude and the longitude, and we can read this information from the customer and longitude. Okay, we're saving all this information here. And after save this information, we're going to delete the local storage. Well, we can delete only the local storage data and delete from the cart from the current user. I'm going to delete all the products I have on my cart, no? Because once the order was success, uh, I'm going to delete all these from the database, but from the local database because it's not necessary anymore because we already saved this information into the cloud database. And also disable the loader. We're going to disable the loader only after a success or an error events. Okay, so that's great. So let's do the complete process. So go to my cart. Here I have the payment method. I add a tip. Go to checkout. The checkout is processed. The payment is created. I'm returning to the home screen. So my cart is now empty. I have a new order here. I have the new payment. And if I check my database on the orders, you see that I have all the information for the order I need uh, to continue with the process for the restaurant and also for the driver. But we are going to continue this on the next tutorial. So thank you for watching, and well, see you the next time. I'm well. If you have doubts, you can join us on the community.apphive.io, and also you can create and start your application in apphive.io. So thank you, and see you the next time.